Hi guys, this is Bill from Spencer1984.com with the final update to the Speed Racer Mach 5. I've got it all wrapped up, generally pretty happy with it, and let's start out with giving a little turnaround here. The final color is Tamiya TS26 Pure White. I polished but did not clear coat it because I don't want to risk this yellowing in a few years. I also used Tamiya gray panel liner for the door seams. The decals are actually from the replacement kit, not the one that I started with, but the one that I got so that I could replace the bottom half of the hood, because the ones that came in that kit were a little too fragile, and the M especially shattered when I tried to put it on. So let that be a lesson in having backups. Remember, why buy one when you can buy two for twice as much? So, taking a look at some of the features on the kit. I've shown this off plenty of times, but start out with the saw blades. And yeah, those still look pretty neat. And moving back, we've got the functional steering. That still works nicely. And you can see the disc brake there inside the wheel. So I'm glad that I added those. That was definitely a necessity. Here in the hood, you got the little homing robot in there. You got that painted blue and silver. And I did add this little triangle to the front because the flap dropped down a little too low. So I've just got that as a little bit of a standoff in there. Pop the hood. And you don't really get a great view of the engine, but I think you can see enough of it to kind of get the point across. And also, I am glad that I added the ignition wires because I think that adds a lot to it. Take a look at the other side here. Little M radiator cap there. And to close it, you can see it starts with a little gap, but if you push the sides in and down, it snaps itself shut and holds there. I did modify the side view mirror here. I used some chrome vinyl for the glass because they give you a photo etch part, but it wasn't really reflective. And I think you all saw pretty much all of the interior last time. I added the center mirror here. That's also got some chrome vinyl. And you can sort of see the pedals. Not really clear, but I still think that was a good addition. So one problem I did run into is the glass was actually way out here originally. So I had to heat that up and rebend it to get it so that it was shaped correctly. So also ran into a bit of a problem with the camera, but that was self-inflicted. So still pops off and you got the hole there, but because of the way that I did the trunk, the holes don't line up quite right, so you can't drop the rod through the trunk like you're supposed to. Instead, what I've got to do is I've got to take the rod, plug it into the camera, and then plug the whole thing in if I want it to be there. And it's fine for display, it even rotates if I want it to, but that's something that was on me. I screwed that up. And then the last thing is the trunk, which I need a tool for that. There's not really a whole lot that you can see in there, but I didn't want to lose all the detail that they gave you in the kit, so I think adding the trunk was a good addition there. So taking a look at the underside, I did modify the headlights. First I flipped over those triangular things just above the headlights because that was more interesting looking, and then I replaced the lights with buckets from my parts box. I think this looks a lot better. We've got the 4 chrome auto jack feet. Back here, I did add a gas tank because that area was just kind of dead and didn't see anywhere else where a gas tank could be. I probably ought to go back and add straps to it. And in the back, we've got the tail lights, and these are my own megaphone exhausts. They're similar to what came in the kit, but a bit thinner or a bit finer. I think looks better overall. Oh, and I did make a new headrest here because the instructions just tell you to go ahead and paint the front of that cowling, and that didn't look right. So I just made a new pad out of flat styrene and painted it to match the rest of the interior. Now, doing a couple of comparisons here. First up, got the movie Mach 5. And this is the Hot Wheels diecast that was released when the movie came out. Both 24th scale, and I think they look pretty good together. And then back in the first video, I compared this to the Polar Lights kit, and I turned that into the Mach 4. This is based on the Johnny Lightning diecast. I figured the size was kind of okay if they didn't really look much like each other. And you can see, yeah, the Polar Lights is really a lot smaller. But kind of funny is if you compare the interiors, they're really not that far off. The seats are a little bit smaller in the Polar Lights kit, but really the biggest difference is the door thickness. And then, yeah, the overall body is a bit smaller. But like I said, I thought that would look cool for the Mach 4, and there we go. And so that's a wrap for this build. Overall impressions of the kit, I thought it was pretty good. I didn't like the way that they broke the body, but that was something that was fixable. Ride height looks a little tall to me, but I think it's just because I've been looking at the Polar Lights kit, because this is not that far off from how the anime is usually drawn. And I like the gadgets, I like the overall look of it, like the engine detail, and yeah, I think it's a winner. So I will be moving on to a brand new project next week. You can check back then, and thanks for watching.